What is up, you guys? Convincing Viper Guy here again, back with another exciting product review. This is where I try different products and let you know if I approve them or if you should run for the hills because they're just not great. Today's review is going to be, you're stealing the show again, Nutter Bars or Nutty Bars from Little Debbie. Saw these in the store, I figured why not, give it a try. And it looks like per package there's 2 wafers. So let's open it up. Come on. Yep. Definitely can taste the peanut butter. I would have to give the vanilla or the Nutty Bars from Little Debbie a rating of an A. I definitely recommend it. So, till next time, guys. Got a Jeep, dirty it up. Hi, my name is Josh Sorrels. Been doing a YouTube video videos, and I've had the channel for quite some time. Since 2000, I want to say 13, 14, I've been doing videos, and got a really good following of subscribers. I do a variety of different videos, from drink reviews to movie reviews. The main thing I always tell everybody is that, when you're doing a channel, don't try to be somebody you're not. Just, you want to be yourself, and if people find it interesting, they'll keep watching your channel, and if not, then they'll just move on. But I mean, it's not every day you meet someone that looks completely normal, like they don't have anything wrong with them, until they actually show you. People think I hide it, but I don't. People think I use it to my advantage, but I don't. I'm just being myself, and a lot of them don't understand that. I'm not going to slam it this time. Today is going to be on the Smooth and Sweet Sunny D. This has oranges, limes, and grapefruit all mixed in there. You guys can see the picture of that. That's all the ingredients that are in it. We're going to try it out and then give our opinion on it. 1, 2, 3.
Nice and sweet and good.
I don't taste any grapefruit. It says it has grapefruit in it, but I'm not tasting it. I'm tasting more orange and lime. I don't know where they're getting the grapefruit taste. Sunny D has got so many different flavors in it. You can't just pinpoint just one specific thing. You have to, you have to let all the different ingredients that's in it. You have to just it's almost like mulling it over, like, okay, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that, and then you just you base it off of that. You can't just quickly make a decision after. You taste the grapefruit in that? Mm-hmm. I mean, I like it, I just don't, I think it's kind of weird that I'm not tasting the grapefruit that's in it.
My absolute best of all was the sardine one. where he was going to do a review on sardines. Just the innocence of it.
You gotta kid me.
Was going to do. I just died of laughter. In fact, I laughed so hard I almost couldn't breathe. It was just so fun watching that particular review. And then the other reviews he has where he gets into something that's a little bit hot for him, to his palate. I just love his expressions and his, I guess, unedited kind of moments, you know, almost like a candid camera.
Oh wow, it's hot. And they weren't kidding about the Louisiana hot sauce. Holy cow.
You know, he has such a good self-worth or self-image that he doesn't take offense to it. And in fact, it's almost like he'll start laughing because I'm laughing, you know. And so that I think that's just who he is.
It's getting a full-on F. That was terrible. One of the worst things I've ever had. But, like I say, I try everything once. I mean, I give my honest opinion, so. Thank you all for watching.
Some people have talents in that way, and I think he just does.
That tastes like cough syrup.
Alright, what's that?
So you want to know how you can tell a train's coming? Lay down on the track and stick your ear to the rail, and you can actually hear the humming of it as it's coming down the tracks. That's usually how a lot of people can tell when a train is coming down the rails or not. Nope. No train. You would have instantly heard it. I don't know much about these murals, but I like looking at them. This must have been when they were first having to cross over the river. Because they said one of the things you had to do is either you had to go across a trail or you had to cross a river. And I think this is the picture of that. Let's see. Anonymous throwaway wrote a question, said, do you have Asperger's syndrome? No, I do not have Asperger's syndrome. I never really looked into finding out exactly what I have, but I've been wanting to. On a serious note, for all of you that don't know, and I know this is going to go out to a lot of people, is I was actually shook to the point where my brain had loosened from my skull. They said that I died 3 times on the operating table. It damaged a part of my brain. They had to rush me into the hospital, and they had to put tubes in my head in different locations. There was one here, and there was one over here, and then there was a couple other places. And how you can notice is the right side, you can actually lay your hand completely flat with your palm of your hand up, and that's how it's supposed to be on both sides. But unfortunately with my left hand, because of my injury that I had, I've had people say, can you do that? And I say no, and this is what happens. There's actually a bend right here in my left arm, and that's what causes my left hand to not go completely flat the way it's supposed to. People think that I'm just messing around when I do that, but I'm not. That's actually what causes what happens when you recover from an injury.
I'd rather focus on the positive attributes where Josh is at now and what his channel's doing, and I think that would serve a better purpose than rehashing, things in the past, especially because he's done so much to overcome. And that's why I'm so proud of me is. I mean, most kids would have just, you know, looked for some kind of an excuse or something like that. He's never been an excuse person. Yeah, really hasn't. He's just always been, you know, trudging forward. So I think it'd be better to focus on the positive than the negative. Challenges are normal, no question about it. It's how you handle the challenge, which defines courage.
Yeah, my dad actually took custody of me, and I've been living with him pretty much throughout most of my childhood.
Who shook you?
My stepdad, before he was put in jail, and he only ended up getting probation because of what he did.
Do you know the name of the person who shook you?
I do, but I prefer not to say his name. You know, my family members hardly ever want me to bring it up and stuff, so I've learned just to not really do anything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah, it was just a real difficult time for me, so thank you all for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate all the viewers that I have. All my Facebook friends, all my followers on Twitter. I mean, without you guys, I honestly wouldn't know what to do. So, thank you all for watching, and until next time. Have a great day, guys. Oh, and check this out. I got a curly fry as an extra. That very rarely happens. But yeah, those are the main reasons why I come back to here every time, is the variety.
Wasn't that an onion ring?
Yeah. It was an onion ring. A lonely onion ring all by itself. Just hanging out with the regular French fries. You don't find that very often. They called me a retard in school. Yep, every single day. Well, the kids would just like make fun of the person that I am. They always considered me as the easy target, so every day at school, whether it be out on recess, cafeteria, after school, like a group full of kids would try to lock me in the closet in the men's bathroom and you know, that type of stuff. And it's one of those closets where you couldn't open the door from the inside. So that was really mostly what tended to happen a lot when I was in school. Yeah, I'm in the middle. That's my brother and then my dad. That was before the injury happened. I can remember some stuff, but not everything. It's almost like a blur. Like you're trying to adjust a TV, you know, to get the blurriness away. And I feel like that's what most of my childhood was. I think that's one of the reasons why I had the fear of I don't want to go back to school because of this. Once my dad realized that that's what was going on at the schooling and that the teachers and everybody weren't really doing anything about it, he pulled me out, and then he started homeschooling me until then. From 5th grade until he pretty much told us we graduated. He was like, okay, you're done. I'm like, all right, where's my paper? Where's my diploma? You know, he's like, oh, you don't need it. We homeschooled you, you're good. So I figured, well, I didn't get what I was wanting, so I figure I'd start taking classes for GED. And that's pretty much what I'm doing.
You're gonna walk in, you're gonna think you're gonna pass, you're gonna tell yourself you know it, and you're gonna sit down and you're gonna take the test, and then you're gonna leave. And you're only gonna think good thoughts.
Yeah.
You are smart.
I just gotta find out after we take the test, how do we find out, what the results are? Is there,
Well, the
do they
extended
know out there? Or?
No, it will be maybe a day because of the extended response. Power of positive
Process.
thinking.
Yeah,
You're good.
Just gotta go through that process. I've learned that you have to go in with an open mind and just feel confident that you are gonna know all the answers to the questions that they give to you. I have been wanting to talk to my doctor about it, just to see if they could actually find out the name that they give it, because I've been wanting to know that for like the longest time since I first heard about it. You ask somebody if there's a name for it, and they have no way of telling you. So it's like, okay, looks like I'm gonna have to, research this type of stuff on my own. I guess it's an application for the going to the conference for the Shaken Baby Syndrome scholarship fund, and they just need me to fill out the information is really all it is. Just meeting other survivors and hearing their stories, and no, I'm not the only one going through what happened to me. I'm actually amazed that they're wanting me to do that, because I didn't think that I would actually be able to have that opportunity, and for them to actually say, hey, we would like you to come down and do that. We actually want to meet this person and hear the story that he has. It's probably one of the best feelings ever to have somebody do that. This will actually be the first time for me that I've actually been able to speak to a doctor regarding pretty much any type of situation, because when I was younger, I try not to do any talking at all whenever it comes to doctors and stuff, but trying to get as much information and stuff like that. I'm sure I'll start to be a lot more relaxed by the time I'm actually there. The nervousness will probably go away, and I'll just be like back to my normal self. But they always say that being nervous also is a way to loosen you up too, and let's see if that actually happens. Yep. 4 or 5 minutes, and then cook another 2.5 minutes right after. After I stir it and then recover it with the plastic. It likes to beep at us. Ow. Most of the time, this type of Salisbury steak, you can actually cut it with a fork. You really don't need a knife like it. I could actually cut it with a fork if I needed to. So for what it's worth, when you want something easy, this is the best way to go. Because of how soft it is like that, how easy it is for the fork to go in like that, the presentation would have to be a high full throttle, just because it's a easy, quick dinner that you can get from the store. It's not gonna cause a big mess. So you really only need just your fork as a utensil. You don't really need anything else just one solid utensil, and that's it. That's all you need. Okay, I kind of have an idea of how I'm gonna start it out, so it's not exactly like I have it written down to start out. After the injury that occurred to me at 1 year old, I I had to have shunts put in my head to make sure that the blood would not cause damage to me because my brain had been shook loose from my head. Well, it looks like they got a couple of them going on right now. The clinical aspects of abusive head trauma. They have that one. And then of course they have the overcoming defense expert testimony and abusive head trauma. So either one of those actually. So that's 2. That one's 2. So I think it might be this one right here. Yep, it is. It's that one.
So one thing you might expect is secondary trauma. Does anyone know what secondary trauma is? So secondary trauma is the traumatic event might not have happened to you, but it happened to somebody that you love, and you're going through that. I definitely working with families at the National Center, I experience secondary trauma myself. There are often times, and probably my colleagues can agree to this, that I am in tears because it is unbelievable that people can do this to children, to babies. So then, of course, as a parent, the secondary.
So what's going on?
It's hard for me to tell. It brings back all the flashbacks I used to have. And I didn't think it was actually going to do that. I told myself I was actually going to do it, and I'm going to do it. I'm not gonna let that one little thing keep me from getting more of the information. I want to actually get as much information as I can. And I also got one of these as well that tells what happens, by by shaking young children. These are all the things that can happen because of it. So that's just. Oh, they got a website out that you can actually check out. The traumatic brain injury, frequently due to abusive head trauma, is the leading cause of death and disability in children.
So, what does a conference like this then do for you? Hearing a lot about this stuff, are you okay with that? Are you handling it all right?
I'm just trying to take it a little at a time and try to build up to where I can, actually take more information in than anticipated.
So shaken baby syndrome is when a child is picked up and shaken violently back and forth. We're not talking about jiggling or even somebody that's just being excessive in what they're doing, which we don't like. But this is somewhere somebody's violently shaking. This is, the American Academy of Pediatrics has described this for lots of years as, to an outside observer, it looked like a child's going to be severely injured or killed. And in point of fact, that can happen. And so Shaken baby syndrome can include impact. In the process of shaking, you can shake a child and be banging their head against the floor or the wall or a counter or something like that. But about half the time or so, we don't find any injuries of impact. It's just a pure shaking. So when people are being abusive to a kid, they'll shake them sometimes, they'll shake them in impact. Sometimes it's just pure impact. And so we see a spectrum of things. We know that maybe about 20%, 25% in some studies of people die when they're so badly injured that we recognize it as shaken baby syndrome. Most of the survivors are pretty severely impacted, more than Josh's. They may end up having IQ problems and learning disabilities. It doesn't appear anyone gets out free. There's always going to be some damage. So we don't have as many of those people like Josh who are walking on 2 feet, getting around, and doing as well as he is. Unsadly enough, too many of the people are more severely impacted.
I've ran across that with a lot of, mostly with family members and friends of mine. So I'm not gonna press any farther, and I'm just gonna let them, do their thing, and they'll eventually see what happens.
We're all working on our own personal improvement plans and trying to be better people day by day. And if we can help somebody else and, suggest anything to them, I think that's good too.
I mean, there's times where I think, how could my life be better if I didn't have what I had happen to me? What would I be like at 37 years old and with no complications with what with what I have as I was growing up? There's a lot of questions that tend to come up in your mind. It makes you reflect back on all of it. I mean, that's really the best definition I could come up with. I would not be able to stand up there and do that if they had me do it today. At a young age, about 10 years old, I was playing in the yard, throwing snowballs with my sister and brother, and my left hand started hurting. So I took off my glove to find out that my 4 fingers were all purple because of how cold they were. Do I want to put my channel in that talk or not? Because if I do, that's going to be longer than 5 minutes. I know it's pretty much like, put as much information as you can, and however long it takes, it's however long it takes, But I want to make sure that I give them at least enough information to know exactly how I was able to, get to where I am now, type of thing.
Even though she functions at a 6-month level, she still has feelings. And just because you're in a wheelchair, you still have feelings, and you feel what people are relaying to you. The best case scenario is when somebody comes up and says, "Hi, can I meet you? What's your name?" And we usually then say, "This is Nicole," and sometimes right away say she's a survivor of shaken baby syndrome, but she loves being talked to. She likes, Jessie may be a little different. I don't know. How do you like people to approach you?
Just talk to me like you would anyone else, and if you're gonna touch me, please warn me first, because I hate being touched unless you speak to me first.
She's a lot like you in a lot of ways, and she loves love. And
yeah, we do the same thing. My kids are all very protective of Jessie. My 7-year-old will take her for walks, and if people try to ask him a question, he'll go, "You can ask her." Yes. And it's just making him comfortable.
You should never assume. You know what happens when you assume, don't you?
Yes. My teacher used to say that word spells out exactly what happens.
It does, yes.
Oh, man. I need a couch like this. What's going on? I'm just like trying to take in all the information that family members I want to see and stuff, and just like, I don't understand why they wouldn't be willing to take the time to actually support me through it. And so, you know, I keep having these questions come up like, why didn't they be willing to take the time to, you know, come and see what this whole thing is about? Why do I have to relate it back to them by being like why do I have to bring the information to them when they could easily have came and actually seen it, you know, seen what it's like? It just amazes me how much they've missed out on it. At a young age, about 10 years old, I was playing in the yard, throwing snowballs with my sister and brother. And my left hand started hurting, so I took off my glove to find out that my 4 fingers were all purple because of how cold they were. And I asked myself why they were like that. As I got older, I was starting to wonder what was wrong with my arms, because I could not feel the coldness on my left arm as well. The only way I knew was by looking at both my hand and feeling my arm, and I asked myself, is this normal? What is going on? I found out that the blood was not doing what it was supposed to do because of the poor circulation I had on my left side. Was this the reason why I had partial feeling in my left arm and why my fingers were the color they were? So to verify, I looked at my right hand. Feeling in that side was normal, and fingers still warm. How is that possible? I have a hard time making a fist with my left hand. The fingers will not clench how they are supposed to, but I don't give up. I still continue on and keep doing normal daily activities like people do. In the late 20s, I talked to my mom and found out that while I was 12 months old, she was at work. Her boyfriend at the time was watching my brother and I at the house, and for some strange reason had picked me up and started shaking me to the point that my brain had been shook loose in my skull. Doctors told my mom and dad that I had died twice on the operating table. Luckily, the doctors were able to bring me back the 3rd time, and I am so glad they did, because I would not be able to share this with you if they had given up. I am now 37 years old, and I am amazed with all that I have been given and what I have gone through. Some of it was happy, some of it was sad, and some of it was scary, but I did not give up. I pushed on, and I feel so blessed to be living and praising my Lord every day that I get to wake up and share this amazing story to other survivors, just like you all sitting here today. What will my life be like in my 40s? I am not sure, but if I had to guess, I would hope it is looking back at all the success I was able to accomplish and showing love and sharing my story to so many people and hearing theirs. We all need to keep showing awareness and getting the word out to those that are still looking for answers. I guess memorable would be the best way to say it, because it's just amazed me that there was so many people here, that all of us got to come together and just socialize with each other and have a good time. I feel like I actually am part of a group I didn't even know of. Every single one of them that I've talked to has accepted me for who I am in person, in general, and they're not just walking by being like, we got somewhere to go, they're not doing any of that. So I feel like I am accepted with pretty much everybody here and everybody that I've talked to. Back home it's way different. I mean, they just look at me as somebody that they've never seen before and don't want to get to know, and don't want to, take the time to really ask me the questions that I feel like they should ask me, so that way they can get a better understanding of the type of person that I am and what I'm going through. I kind of wish people would be more like the ones here, but sometimes you just gotta work with what's put in front of you. I guess the best way to say it is, without happiness, your life wouldn't be really complete at all or anything like that. There is always light at the end of the tunnel when it comes down to it. Just keep the happiness alive by always being open with each other, talking, be pretty much open on everything. So until next time, everyone, God bless, kick the tires, light the fires, and have a great day. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know this is not a food review, but I wanted to at least let you guys know that it will be a little bit before I'm able to get back doing videos again. I'm just going through a little bit of a rough patch right now. Hope you guys understand, and just wanted to do this short video and let you know that I'll be doing reviews on food products and stuff like that not too long from now. So, and until next time, everyone, kick the tires and light the fires. Peace out. Mom's supposed to be coming out in October. I still have to work on a few questions that I'm going to ask her and everything. So the main question would be, what was the reason why he had to do what he did, and what would my life been like if it had not happened? Would probably be the main question that I would ask her. Okay. Love you too. Bye. Okay. So she's just now making her way over here. She said she was going to call me before she headed out.
My name is Aileen Murray, and I'm Joshua Sorrels' biological mother. I can introduce you to him from birth. He was born at Holy Rosary Hospital in Ontario, Oregon. He was a hard-headed little guy as he got older. And he was a real easy baby, he was a happy baby, but if you told him no, that was not part of his vocabulary whatsoever, because he'd reach for something and it was dangerous, might be dangerous class or something like that. And I would say, Josh, no. And he'd look at me and he'd smile and he'd reach for it again. Joshua, no. And finally I'd swat his hand. he'd pucker up like he was going to cry, and then he'd do it again. It's like, forget it. So that was Josh from birth, you know, through his early years. The day that it happened, I worked for a chiropractor in La Grande, and Troy, Troy that shook him, was taking care of the kids. He had lost his job, or they'd quit using him to drive truck. And so he was taking care of the 4 boys. And he wasn't equipped to be a caretaker. We didn't know that at the time. And so I came home at lunchtime, and Josh was playing in the playpen, and he had one of my bras. I've got a photograph of that too, and he had it hung over his head, and I picked him up, and I think Troy had lunch for him. So I put him in the high chair, and then I had to go back to work. And later on that afternoon, I don't know, maybe around 3 o'clock or something like that, or 4, it was before quitting time, Troy called and said Josh was acting strange. And so I went home, and he was laying in the playpen, and his eyes were closed, and he was breathing but very shallow, and I lifted up his eyelids, and his eyes were rolled back. And so I just scooped him up, and I jumped in the car, and I hit the flashers and the horn, and I drove him to the hospital. I didn't even wait for 911. And every once in a while, I'd look down, and I'd blow in his face to see if he would react to it, and went up to and took him straight to the emergency room at Grand Ronde Hospital. And then there's kind of a blank period. They were examining him, and they came out and said that they were going to that they needed to do surgery, but they weren't equipped to do it in La Grande. So they flew him by helicopter to Walla Walla, Washington. And his dad rented an airplane, and I wanted to fly in the helicopter with him, but they wouldn't let me. And so his dad and I flew to Walla Walla, and we got there, and they were taking him in. They were prepping him for surgery to relieve the pressure on his brain, and they said he had been shaken. You know, it all seemed like it happened so fast, and we had all been in contact with Josh within 24 hours or less of that happening. So we were all kind of under suspicion at the time. But there's a lot of blank spots when he was in the hospital. They did the surgery, it was successful, but Josh was in a coma. And the coma, I'm not sure how long it lasted. I thought it was 2 to 3 weeks. I have little memories here and there of that time, but I stayed at the hospital. They had a place for me to stay. And I left one evening to go to dinner, and we were in the Black Angus restaurant in Walla Walla, and they had these glass booths that you would sit in. And we had ordered, my mother was there with me, and Troy was there with his mother, and we'd ordered dinner, and all of a sudden I get this just sunk feeling, you know, it's all, and I jumped up and I ran right into the glass wall. I swear everybody in the restaurant turned around and looked at me. And I told Mom, I said, we've got to get back to the hospital. I said, something's happened to Josh. And we got back there, and they were doing a second surgery. They were putting in a second shunt to drain the fluid and relieve the pressure on his brain. And I remember that was maybe 3 or 4 days after the initial surgery. So, and then I wasn't able to go into the room with him unless his dad was there. His dad had gone back to Ontario and filed for temporary custody. And one of the restrictions was that I couldn't be alone with Josh. So one night, this was 2 or 3 weeks into it, my mom and I were there, and one of the nurses, my mom said, can we go see him? And so Sorry. So the nurse let us go in, and I was holding Josh, and my mom was sitting there next to me, and we were talking to him, you know, because they said, you know, he might be able to hear, and, you know, he probably would. And we were talking to him, and he opened up his eyes, and he said, "Grandma?" And then it was a while after that, and they finally released him, and they released him to his dad and his stepmom, Jan, and that. And then I don't remember a whole lot until we went to court for custody. That's months later, but I didn't get to have him for very long periods of time. You know, his dad was very angry, understandably. But once I was cleared, I thought that was kind of, I don't know why he wouldn't let me be around the baby, but anyway, it all worked out. I lost custody of the boys, and that changed the course of our lives. But he survived, and that's all I really remember about that time frame, because like I said, it was real spotty, but, you know, but anyway, he went through a lot, and I think your brother has been plagued with those throughout the years.
Yeah.
You know, because when he told me what he saw, it was extremely emotional for him and for me too, because I told him, I said I didn't realize what was going on, because when I was around, you know, you kids were all treated the same, all four of you boys, but apparently it wasn't the case when I wasn't there. And I just wish I'd been more aware of what was going on. Because if I had been, I'd have probably kicked his butt. Yeah. And we'd have left and might have changed things altogether. But anyway, I know how it affects me, so I know it's got to have some negative effects on you too, you know. But maybe I'll help it clear it up a little bit, be beneficial. Anyway, it's been a number of years since Carl talked to me about it. So his memory was extremely vivid at the time he talked to me about it. And he was very angry. But he was only 4 years old, so there wasn't anything he could do. And that helpless feeling probably was the hardest part for him.
It's funny how you can see the plane, or you can hear the plane, but you can't see them after they've gone so far down. One thing that I've learned is that you just gotta face your fears and what's been bugging you and stuff. That's pretty much what I'm doing. And they always say going to the person that was actually there is the best way, and I feel like, you know, Carl was the one that I needed to talk to, and now I'm able to do that. I've never brought it up to him because I wasn't sure what type of reaction I would get, or I wasn't sure if he was gonna respond to really any of the questions. I figured he would just be real quiet toward it and everything. It would be nice to find out, you know, why it'd be nice to ask him on why he didn't actually try stopping it, even though I know he was at a young age. You know, what it would be like if he would have been able to stop the situation from happening. All right.
My name is Josh Sorrels. I'm Josh's older brother, and 4 years older. You want to say a really cool thing? Josh, take your hat off and show him the side profile. Right?
Which side?
From the side.
Oh, from the side?
Right.
Feeds into all the other questions that he had, but the only main big question that I really had was just really what can you remember? I know it's going back way, way, way many years, but the main thing I just wanted to know is just what are the main things that you remember back at the age of 4 or 5, whatever year it was. And that was pretty much it.
My memory starts like everybody was in watching cartoons or something up in the living room. And I went to go use the bathroom, and I'd come out of the bathroom, was walking through the kitchen, got out of the bathroom into the kitchen, turned right, there was that breezeway to the entryway. And I remember seeing Troy standing there, and the little walker crib thing was in that corner over there.
Oh yeah, those little walker.
Yeah, and I remember he would cry pretty consistently, but I remember seeing Troy pick you up, and he shook you very violently. And I remember because I was walking out of that bathroom, walking around, and I just saw that, and it was incredibly violent. Then I remember trying to cuss him out as best of a 5-year-old can do. And I remember he threw you down into the crib, and he turned and looked at me, and he came after me. And then I remember running, and he just missed me, getting a hold of me, and I ran up the stairs and went around up into the bedroom that was upstairs, and I remember running and crawling underneath. I think they had a queen-size bed at the time, and the cats used to claw at the bottom of the box spring. And I remember going underneath the bed and crawling through that clawed-in spot into the actual box spring itself. I remember being up in there, and one of the cats, I think, was in there too. And then just all hell broke loose with what was going on. I remember Troy came back into the room and just ripped that place apart trying to find me. Fortunately, he didn't actually look in the box spring, because then he would have found me. But I remember he moved the bed, moved everything in that room trying to find me. And then after being in that box spring, that was the last thing I remember from that instance.
I didn't even know there was a way you could actually get up into it. I didn't even know there was a way you could actually get up into those box springs like that.
Well, apparently if you try hard enough, when you run out of your life, you can do that.
That's true, and you have to make sure that, that it's opened enough too, so.
Yeah. Imagining surviving that was horrifying. So I just kind of geared myself to, if there was ever a situation like that again, to react, and regardless of whatever the consequences are. Because watching the people you love grow up, having to deal with issues that's traumatizing in its own right. And I spent a lot of time dealing with the guilt aspect, especially because I'm the big brother. And granted, I was 4, not even 5. It's not much a 5-year-old really is going to be able to do in that instance, but played it over in my mind more than 1,000,000 times. What could I have done that would have been different? Could I have yelled sooner? Could I have, ran to the phone instead of ran and hit it, or just all those what ifs just kind of nag at you for the rest of your life.
I see long-term effects from it that will never change. I'll be perfectly honest, Josh is very caring, very loving, but he's also very naive. I think people take advantage of that. And I don't think that his chronological age matches with his emotional age. And that is an effect from the shaking. That wouldn't be Josh. He would be a different person if that were the case. I think he's going to be forever a child in a way, which is, you've got a lot of adult attributes, honey, really good, work ethic and caring about people. But emotionally, there are some restrictions that are a side effect from that. So, yeah, Josh is a result of that in some ways.
Josh is still a rock star in his own right. Josh's injuries and diagnosis and so forth, I don't really feel defines Josh. For me, my term is always violent optimism for him. He's just got that very blatant optimism and gonna strive for the best. Does it always happen? Not always. We're gonna try. And he just keeps trying. Keeps putting it out there, keeps trying.
So, anyway, is this something you're gonna read to Mom? Or just a memory?
I don't know, I wrote all this in like 30 minutes, which I'm amazed because it all just came from my head. And I was, putting it all down to paper. I just thought that was really cool. When I was at the conference in Florida, it was one of the best experiences I've ever got to do and be part of. Every time I woke up to go see and hear what they will be talking about, I was thinking to myself, if only my mom could be here to share this awesome experience with me. And I got really emotional through some of the talks that were going on in different rooms. Yeah. I didn't read this before after I wrote it. Meeting other survivors and hearing their stories was so amazing, and I was just blown away by what they had to go through and how they were able to overcome the obstacles put in front of them. It really opened up my eyes and made me realize how blessed we are to be able to share our stories to others and keep showing awareness to those who need to hear it. Oh, this part gets me. I wanted to let you know that having you in my life is one of the best feelings in the world, and I am so proud to call you my mom and my protector.
Please, come here. I love you. I'm so proud of you. And I want to go with you to the next one, okay? So I can be there and see what you hear and share and let him know that it's not the end of the world. This is going to make us closer. I didn't think we could be any closer than we are. I know.
I didn't, like I said, I did not. I was just writing stuff down. I didn't even go back to re-look at it. I just wrote it, closed it, and called it good.
That's being real. I knew you were going to get emotional because you always laugh just before you cry.
You know, how do you understand that day's significance in who you are as a person?
I don't know, actually. It's hard to... It's kind of one of those difficult questions to answer, really. I haven't really thought about it. Yeah, that's definitely one of those that I wasn't sure. Not sure exactly how to answer that one. Welcome to the Top Gun channel, where you're about to enter the danger zone of all food, drink, and all other assorted reviews. And today, we are going to be trying out the Uno bar, and this is from the Annabelle Candy Company in Hayward, California, amazing enough. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into these and give our thoughts of if it's worth trying out again.
I'm having a hard time getting mine open.
Yeah.
Well, they obviously know something about packaging. No wonder they're fresh.
They're trying to childproof.
There we go.
They're trying to childproof the wrapper is what they're doing. Smells good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go for it.
Oh my.
It almost looks like powdered chocolate on the inside of it.
Yeah, it just snaps off really easy. By the way, I'm Josh's mom, and it's fun to be able to do a video with him. I watch a lot of them, but I've never done one before. So, really good, lots of fun, and I would highly recommend Uno bars. There you go.
If you can find them. Apparently, they must be really difficult to find.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think we sell them even where I'm at right now. So.
See where I live? We can order stuff on the phone.
Yeah.
We can order stuff online. I'll just order a case of
There you go.
hand.
There you go. Just have a whole case sent to your house.
Yeah, that's it.
So, all right. Well, that is the review for today. We thank you all for checking out the channel.
Okay.
When you hit back, it actually turns it off. So. U dash N. Oh.
Pretty much bowling and home stuff.
After that, then we're gonna start making our way back to the Dalles. I'm actually amazed on how big it is. Never really knew where it was or.
You wanted to see where Troy was. That right in there, that's where Troy is locked up, probably for the rest of his life, for things he did to other people. He'll probably never get out.
Yeah, it's like, now it's like you don't have to, don't have to worry about it, and it's almost like closing a case pretty much, like they do in the law. They closed a case and they made it to where that person's not able to get out anymore, and so that's kind of what I'm getting out of that.
The brain surgeon that worked on Josh, his name was Dr. Perry Camp. And after it was all done and they saved his life and he's coming out, this is a 1-year-old little baby, he said something to me that I took to heart. He said, whatever you do, treat him normal. And everything will fix itself. And he was right. And so that's what we've always done. I've just treated him normal. We didn't allow any handicap situations to be handicap situations. You just do what you gotta do. And a lot of people get curveballs that get thrown at them, but we always treat Josh normal. And that's why he's normal. You treat a person like they have a handicap, they'll be handicapped. Treat them like they're normal, they're normal. And so we've done that his whole life. You just either you're gonna whine about it or you're just gonna kind of get past it and say, what do I need to do to make it better? I hope he has a great normal life, you know, and let him define normal on what's normal. And so the more I see of it, the happier I am. You just want them to prosper and be normal and be happy. They don't all have to, you know, be the President of the United States or run the marathon or, you know, you're proud if they are, but you just want them to enjoy their life and they're happy and live a nice, normal life with as least amount of stress as possible. So, good luck on that.
Left in there, Never actually had the experience of living on my own, and this will definitely be an interesting experience. Dear Dad, how are you doing in sunny California? I'm doing good here in La Grande. I just working and trying to make as much money as possible. I miss you a lot and cannot wait to come visit sometime when the pandemic goes away. I love you all very much and wanted to let you know that I am glad that you always had to get on to me about money and stuff, because now I am doing better and not just going out every night. I am staying at the apartment more because I get what I need from the store, put it in my cupboards and fridge and call it good. Sorry this is so short, I have to go now, but hope to hear from you soon. Love, Josh, you're the best. I can honestly tell you my baking skills are probably not the greatest. And oil is one thing I do not have, because that's one of the things it's asking for. Yeah, I got everything but oil underneath here. That's one thing I did not grab from the store, which I still eventually need to do that, because I know that there's a lot of stuff that does require it. I always like to try different things, and this is definitely one of those new things to try out for sure. Actually might be a little more than half a cup. It's actually fun to learn different things. I actually am turning 40 today. Didn't think it would actually get to that, but and it was funny too, because this morning when my brother called me, he said, "Welcome to the old farts." And I'm like, yeah, thanks. That's just something I really wanted to hear right now. But, you know, I had a good laugh out of it, and it was nice to get a lot of family members and friends that would, that have actually remembered what today was and everything, So this is the German chocolate cake that I made for my 40th birthday with butter instead of oil. So I want to give this a shot here. It's weird, it actually tastes better with butter. This actually makes me want to make more cakes now because of the fact that I did so good at it. Gives me another skill that I can take with me. Actually, not bad. It's almost like a dream come true. I finally was able to prove that I can actually do something on my own and not having to feel like I have to have somebody, you know, help me through the process. So it feels good to be able to accomplish something that I never thought would ever happen. Certificate of Achievement, Josh Sorrels, in recognition of your successful completion of the GED test program and issuance by the Oregon State Board of Education of an official certificate of General Educational Development, July 22nd, 2020. It's like a big circle of clouds that start there and then works all the way it's around until it gets to a certain point and then it stops. It's funny, that big cloud right there actually looked like there's a person's face, and then there's its stretched arm, and then there's the 3 fingers like it's trying to grab somebody or grab something. See, it's like you got the face there, like his mouth is open, like it's a dragon of some sort. His face is open, like his mouth is doing this. That's his whole body, and then over here is his outstretched arm with its 3 fingers like it's trying to grab something. I'm very visual and like I always think of the clouds as different, whether it be animals, people, and that type of thing, and that's like the first thing that came to me when I saw that. I think that's one of the reasons why I like looking at the clouds is because of the stuff that you can actually see. Oh, and there's the tail. It goes up like that. That's cool. The tail is right there. Starts right there, goes all the way down to over right there, because there's the actual dragon. The dragon is literally spread out like this on his stomach, and then his hand is over here like he's grabbing something, so it's almost like he's doing like this type of a thing. So all you can see is his left hand, and it looks like he's like trying to reach out and grab something while he's laying down. Oh, it's actually a wolf. Never mind. There's the face, there's the mouth of it, and then each little spike is the teeth. Took me a little bit, but then I finally figured it out. It's actually a wolf laying down. Try to look at it quick, you don't notice it, but when you actually sit there and actually look at it, you'll start to see what they're actually talking about. My recommendations to you all is to just go out there and just keep pursuing your dream, and eventually it will happen. You guys will get the results that you want. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everybody, God bless and keep those eagles flying. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the salted deluxe mix nuts. This is a Kroger product, and it says may contain peanuts, pistachios, macadamia nuts, walnuts, coconut, soy, milk, and wheat. So I got a small glass of it here. I put it in a bowl, and 2 of them just came flying out of me. I'm like you guys. So there's what it looks like, and I'm gonna try each one individually. Put these over here, and then let you guys know what my thoughts are on it. So the first one I'm gonna try, I think this is the Brazil nut, or it could be a pecan. Yeah, actually that's a pecan right here. That one definitely had a lot of salt on it. Okay. And of course your standard almond. This must be their macadamia nut. Big size one. And a peanut. Or cashew, actually. It's a cashew. Would you like a cashew? So I would have to say, for the mixed nuts from Kroger, I would have to give these on a scale from a A+ to an F, with A plus being you passed your schooling, to an F means that you did not pass your schooling and retake it again. I would have to give the mixed nuts from Kroger a rating of a B+. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, kick the tires and light the fires. Peace out.